Raise your hand if you love reading manhwa. Okay, if you like this post, maybe after this we can create a WhatsApp group. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Salma Kamelia, and I'm from Islamic State University of K. Haji Abdurrahman Wahid, Pekalongan, or usually go by Win Kustur. When you were in high school, did you ever feel like school rules were annoying? Rules about uniform, phones, hairstyle, or even how you should behave in class? Back then, it often felt like too many rules and not enough freedom. I'm sure many of us feel the same. And honestly, it finally did. The story that slowly changed how I see those things is The Religion by Cha Young-taek and Han Karang. It's a Korean manhwa about the anarchic world of education, in which new regulation forbid teachers to penalize students and unruly students get out of control. And then comes an agency, a mysterious educator strike agency that lead the finest mind Nahwejin. He was background in army, but suddenly plugged in the world of education. From there, I imagined how military education will be implemented. But it turned out not. He actually used physical violence to eradicate violence. Like, how? I've started reading this manhwa when I'm still in high school, and I still reading it now as a university student because the story is still ongoing. What's interesting is that as the story continue, my understanding of it also changed. At first, I reading the religion just for entertainment. The story felt intense, dramatic, and sometimes I was shocked about Nahwajin handsomeness. But I realized that problems shown in this manhwa are not as far from reality as they seem. It talks about respect, discipline, authority, and responsibility, things we'll experience during our school years. One thing that really changed is my perspective on school rules. Formally, rules feel like something that just existed to limit us. But what will actually happen if a school had no rules at all? This miracle shown that without discipline, learning becomes chaos. Suddenly, I realized that rules not were there to take away freedom, but to create safe and fair environment. Another part of the story that really stayed with me is about responsibility and speaking up. Have you ever stayed silent even when you knew something wasn't right? Maybe because it feels safer, or maybe because you thought it wasn't your place. This manhwa taught me that silence can be comfortable, but it often allows problems to continue. Now, as a university student, the story feels even more relevant. In college, we are given more freedom, no uniform, more flexible schedule, and less supervision. It feels like I'm being ignored. But the realization remind me that freedom only works when it comes with responsibility. What I really like about this story is that it grew together with me. The story didn't change. There was a case of bullying, the victim reported it, and the educator tried against the complex hero. They fought, then won, and it was over. And that pattern kept repeating itself. But my perspective did. Things that feel unfair now feel understandable. This one also taught me that learning is doesn't always come from classroom or textbook. Sometimes we read casually, even on our phone, can teach us a lesson that much longer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you read the story as the read years ago, do you feel the same? Yes, maybe. In the last, the realism changed my perspective not instantly, but gradually. It taught me that education not only academic knowledge, but also discipline, responsibility, and grew over time. That's all for me. Thank you for listening.